Yay!
Hey.
We are live.
Yeah,
Hello,
hi
everyone.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. And before I forget, happy 909 Day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by the
happy
way.
day
I put it here. Just
Yeah.
to everyone.
I see one in your in the back of Mario's
Yeah.
video. Man, are you in a spaceship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of.
You have everything there?
No, not so much.
Yeah.
No, no.
Basics.
Basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the main modular panel, the one in the
This one, yeah.
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 Cool.
But I downgraded a lot lately.
Yeah,
I have now like half the thing I had in the past. Yeah.
cool. It's very
Did you decide to get rid of stuff because you wanted to have a more focused instrument, or you just sold it for other gear or something?
Yeah, because I'm all the time switching gear. I like to buy stuff using some tracks or some records, and then when I think I use it for enough for me, I sell and then get another thing. For me, it's like the gear is a bit like inspiration sometimes. The new machines and learn how the new machine works, and for me it gives me a lot of inspiration.
Yeah, you mean it gets you going when you explore a new machine. You get you ideas as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
how do you decide with having all these machines around you? How do you decide what you will take with you on stage or perform live setup?
For the live set, it's really not prepared stuff. I like to make the live set for
yeah.
the last 3
Improvisation.
years. I'm doing live sets like I only have the machines and I make all the stuff live with an improvisation. Because in a studio I'm more a focus guy
But
of
you move the models.
What?
You move the modules from the studio to the live set, or you have another set.
No, I have a case, one case. This
And you
one
move the models.
that is the live set case, and then I have another booth rack, a big rack that I'm swapping models and changing and trying new things and selling others and.
Cool. Yeah, because till now I had just a live rack ready for the live set. Is and another kind of stuff for the studio. I have one so only ready for the live set.
Yeah, for the live set, I only have four voices in a case. One is like samples, and the other stuff is like 3 synth voices, effects, backlines, and I try to improvise during the live set without. I have the Twigman, the big module that is 4 channels with filters, and I use that like a DJ mixer in some kind. It's like 4 channels with the filter and the VCA, so I can open the sound and could with filters the others. So my live set normally is a bit more similar to a DJ set in the wave of go and with the sounds, and
I'm on this way too now because not with the more ambient and this sci-fi stuff, but for the techno stuff, I'm very into this kind of hybrid set because I like a lot to make live, but I feel that I'm missing a bit of dynamic thing, and I'm trying this kind of mix between DJing and live set. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
it's usually when people play live sets, they're very focused because it's big probability of making some mistakes and maybe be confused. For me, at least, sometimes if something goes wrong, I can be like a little bit scared. I have to like be prepared to handle the situation. That's why, of course, I understand why usually people go for a hybrid set or just DJing their own tracks, for example. But for me, like probably through the years playing, I think because I'm not really into experimenting and adding lots of new stuff, because I have like my setup and I'm just adding, of course, something new, but it's very basic and minimal. I never change the the important structure. That's why probably through the years I learned how to handle the situation in case something goes wrong. But and so because dynamic for me, as you Sergio said, it's very important.
A lot.
And I saw how people sometimes can be very boring, just focusing on notes.
But this is something that you learn just making gigs, because you are in the studio working on preparing the set, but you learn about this kind of things making gigs, and then you start to understand, I don't know, the psychology of a set in the middle of a club, and then you think, okay, I need to go much more simple and indirect and start to changing things. I remember at the beginning that the first live sets was very complex with many layers of sound, and it was a mess. Of course, it was sounding cool in 2 sound systems in the world, but in the other ones was a bit mess. And then you start to keep out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's finding a balance between freedom of improvisation versus control. You know, you have to make it simple enough to be able to keep your head around it during your show, and it needs to be flexible enough to improvise or to do things that are effective or that you can actually manage to do. You know, it doesn't make sense to bring 100 synths on stage, and you know, it's just impossible to control with just one head and two hands. You know.
But I think the funny thing is, for me, with my little experience with the live sets, is like what Julia says about mistakes and the control that you are saying now. When you start to sometimes control those mistakes, and that is the best moment normally in the live
of
set
course.
and in the dance floor, because you make a mistake and it's like a really big change. But if you can control this with a filter or effects or something, then you realize that is one of the best moments of the 1 hour live set. So
if you take off the thing, the mistake, if you take it off fast, then the people says, okay, it wasn't here.
Sometimes people think that you made this in purpose, and it's not like this.
Sometimes some people go, if they know it's a live show, there are some certain people who know and who appreciate live shows. That's why they go to see exactly your live show, and they are very they can notice everything. Which is good. It means they're attentive to what you're doing.
Well, you know, but you can actually easily tell whether somebody's playing live or has something which is completely prepared in advance, you know, because it just has a certain tension to it. If you can see somebody trying to come up with something in real time while they are doing it, that creates a tension and a sort of like a balance between excitement and anticipation, and it should be a little bit dangerous, you know, if you're doing a live set with no danger at all, when there all the risks are ironed out, and there's nothing that can go wrong. It is going to be boring. And if there's something that you really need to create on the spot, on the moment, that is something that is definitely noticeable in the audience. So it's about finding the balance between being safe enough to have at least something going and being risky enough to make it exciting, I guess.
And you learn a lot with the machines. If you force yourself to go to the live set with more improvisation part, you learn a lot to how to to use the machines and how to control the machines. And because in a studio sometimes like you are not doing something live, is like something is sounding wrong, you change the pattern, you have time to enough time to change the things, but in live set you are with the audience and it's really different.
It's real time. There's no way to do it again.
So you force yourself to control really good the instrument, and that is cool for learn more and improvise. Yeah.
And the magic comes when something good is you find something good in the middle of the live set. It's very exciting. It's like, oh my god, this is sounding super cool.
Yeah.
It's like I will leave it for 10 minutes. Like, okay, I have something here.
It's like learning every other instrument. The better you know it, the more hours you put into it, the more fluid you become, and the more control you have over it, the better it's going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. And at the end, I think we are not used to be a lot of hours into one machine, because if you see the people playing guitar or this kind of more classic instruments, they are all their life learning and playing, and we are always changing machines, and we are not putting enough hours into every machine, you know.
Every machine, maybe more hours, but not into every machine.
Yeah, exactly. It's better to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah.
Well, there are some machines that you will not learn in all your life, like the Octatrack or or things like that.
I think this machine have endless submenus. It's like
man,
crazy.
I mean, I've had and worked on so many pieces of gear, and since when I got the Octatrack, that was the first machine in years that I had to spend days with the manual just to figure out. Normally I never read manuals. No, I just connect something and then I just fuck around with it until I get something that I like. With pretty much everything, but this one I really had to spend some time with it, and to really get. I mean, there's some stuff is on the surface and you can get going pretty quickly, but if you really want to make use of all the features, you've got to dive into the manual.
Yeah, for me, it's not the kind of machine that I will recommend to someone. Or
well, like the thing is, you can use it in so many ways, and most people who own it all use it in their own different way. Nobody uses everything. Everybody uses just a part of it.
But talking about the 909 today, it's like for me, it's the perfect machine, because it's human size and it's human thinking. You know, if you see now, if you compare now with the new machines, maybe in the past it was like a very futuristic machine, but if you compare today, it's like a very human thing. The size, the size of the buttons, you can do the patterns very fast. It's like this. True. And with the sound, it's like this too. Is the sound of the 909 is very real. I don't know. It's different than the other words. It's
the 909.
I think maybe
it comes up every time, but I think today we are allowed to talk about the 909, you know, because it's 909.
It's day.
I think 909 is popular because it was used in the beginning. Like the people who made the first tracks with them, the track like songs and the compositions, they become very popular. That's why we all like now used to that sound. I don't think we can think that this is like the best sound of the drum or the best sound of the kick or snare. I think this is just what we used to feel in commercial music, and it goes like since we were children, we felt this sound, you know, and now it just subconsciously pursued us everywhere. And now when we do it music, of course, the kick is not good enough until it's 909, for example.
But I think the magic is probably more in the interface. You know, the like Sergio said, it's the size is good. The way of programming it has certain limitations compared to modern drum machines, but still, if you look at whatever is coming out, there's every manufacturer or every idea from any new drum machine are still drawing from the classic 16-step programming
Yeah, absolutely.
type
Yeah, that's true.
interface, and so I think it just
Because it's still what can a human make, you know. Is if you pack more functionality in to, first of all, now everything tend to be smaller. Yeah, it's difficult to have 909 with you everywhere you perform. That's why to make it smaller and still make it some even expand functionality more, it's very difficult, first of all, and the people will probably not understand, because we also have our own like brain limitation to understand and to work, like, to have more steps, for example, you know. So I think it's related to also make the product, like even new products of the market, like similar to 909, they are just made to still be accessible and easy to work with.
Yeah, if you think about the 303, it's like for me it's very different of the it's almost a mistake. I don't like how to program it, and the 909 is absolutely easier. Is
Staying on the subject of drum machines, maybe Julia can talk about the Queen of Pentacles. That's the new Endorphin drum module, right?
Yeah, right. It's exactly today we released it, and it was not on purpose because we were preparing it like since Christmas, and like usually it takes 6 months to release like some modules. Some modules takes more time to release if we do like doing the like everything from scratch, if we have some technologies already. So it's usually like 6 months. And Queen of Pentacles happened to be 909 inspired module, like in a Eurorack format, 30 HP, and it's I mean, 909, it just happened. This day just happened, and it's great because we're inspired by this machine, of course. And I don't want to say nothing like, I just think every kick is good. It just should find the right styles, right genre, for example.
You have the machine there, the model.
Yeah, one moment, I will unscrew it from my rack.
Good.
Yeah, gives me the opportunity to say hello to everybody in the comments, and
Nice.
I'm trying not to ignore you this time as I do every week. So if you have any, if anybody has any questions, go to watch this on YouTube, and the comments you leave there will be visible to us, and we can drag them into the screen and answer your questions. There we go.
Cool.
It's massive.
30 HP. Yeah, it has lots of knobs, obviously. And it goes up 7. We have like generally 7 voices, and 3 of them are analog. 1 based on 909, and 4 of them are samples, which we had the card.
Okay.
Yeah, here is the card that we can. Change your own. You can change your samples, and for these sample banks, we worked with Nicola Bugayov. If you're familiar with him.
Yeah. From he's on Novamute. Yeah, Nicolas Bugayev. Yeah.
Nicola, yeah. So he created 8 banks with 4 samples each. So yeah, pretty massive. And so yeah, we have low and high pass filter here. And no, you cannot hear any sound now, but we have nice demo, and demos now on YouTube channel, and also like some bloggers like Ricky Tinis today released also overview about it with pretty much like good examples of the sound and the volume controls. Like, so yeah, it's inspired by 909, and we're proud that we managed to make it by this day. But I think now we should tend to, like, you know, a new format of technology, like new formats. We have to reduce some volume a little bit.
Yeah. How many HP is? How big?
30 HP.
Okay.
Can I ask you how do you load your own samples into it, because that's usually something which is very tedious on Eurorack machines that works with SD cards, or you
Yeah,
have to even
it's
conduct. How does it work with this one?
this is the samples played directly from SD card with zero latency delay, and you can just load and play directly from SD card.
Okay, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Very
yeah,
cool.
but because this is what inspired us to, because we had Black Noir, we still have Black Noir, and it's have completely different character, and it's based on CR78, and we are. I love to have them both, because I only have modular setup. I don't have like external drum machines or anything. And only I have external controllers, like some sequencers, MIDI keyboards, and so that's why we like inspired to create modules and to make people to bring everything on the stage, right away in one box, without having lots of boxes to think about, to carry, and different packaging for everything. So it's everything in my box. Like in my setup, for example, I play only from one box, and I'm quite satisfied with that. That's why this is inspiration and like the philosophy of our brand as well.
Cool. Very
How
nice.
How long takes to make a module like this till you have the idea?
Well, as I said, we already had technologies, circuits. So this module took 6 months, and from create. Yeah, but usually some modules, for example, now we develop sequencer, and now it's more than 1 year. It's 1 year and something we still develop, because we develop the technology from scratch. So yeah, it depends. If it's quite new and challenging, so of course it will take more time.
Good. No, but 6 months is very fast.
Yeah, it's quite fast, because we had Black Noir before, which is pretty similar in the design decision.
Yeah, the Black Noir the sound is very. I don't know. I
Say it.
No. But I like it, because I like a lot this kind of more dark wave music, and a bit lo-fi, and this kind of. And I think this model fits very cool for this kind of music.
Our friend from Portugal, 1,000 Details, he's asking Julia. He wants to trade his Black Noir for a Queen of Pentacles. Can you arrange it?
No, I can't. No, I think some people said that it might like replace the Black Noir, but still, like it has different character, different kick, different snare, and like absolutely like. So I think they complement each other.
Yeah, you should keep both.
Both.
The new one has effects.
Yeah. Same as Black Noir, yes.
Which ones?
Well, it's 2 banks with 2 banks each has 8 effects, the same as Milky Way. If you heard those, like whole reverb, like every shimmer, every possible reverb, like you can.
Nice.
16 reverbs, yes.
We will try it. You have a space, Mario, in your rack for this new one?
Now, what is the best thing? For example, I can only perform with one module. I need just one controller, because it doesn't have a sequencer on board. Those are just voices, but having a good controller, to program these voices, and it's enough for one live show, just one module.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. The new modules that came with a lot of functions, act like a single machine in itself is really great, with effects in the master and control with channels, and I think is great, because you can bring a little case for a live set, and you have a lot of options in a small space.
Yeah, exactly. And live shows, what's it, like 1 hour of live show, for example, right? And different patterns and nice grooves. This
Yeah.
Important because now drum machine is essential, right? We always have not enough of drums.
Yeah, the thing with these very complex models is that are becoming a bit too much. It's like the octatrack, it's like they are making everything. It's like one
Yeah,
model.
I feel like that as well sometimes when you see all the new stuff coming out. It's basically so complex that it's almost like a 19-inch rack mount unit size functionality in a small Eurorack format,
Exactly.
and sometimes you get all these menu diving. We have to really
Yeah.
menu dive to get everything out of it. I to be honest, I'm more a fan of things which are all on the surface.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
yeah.
What I'm looking for in the modulars is a very simple thing. My rack for the live sets is one voice. It's a localic one. I want very simple things because for complex histories, I choose another kind of gear. Another kind of stuff. This is why I'm looking for the modular, very raw, very simple and direct, and go ahead.
See,
Yeah.
I like the two kind of modules, but for different uses. For example, for the live set, I don't like modules that have menu diving, and I want direct things. But for a studio, I love the modules that like the Mozcan quadruple LFO is like really complex machine. Is like a computer, and you can program like in software. And this cool.
Yeah.
This is cool, but for a studio, not for live set. So.
Yeah.
So
Like this.
I like both versions of that, but for different uses, of course.
Yeah, like this ER301. No, this is a very complex one too.
Which one?
Yeah, the ER301.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Japanese one. Yeah. I have the first one, the sequencer, and it's great. It's great stuff, but it's like a computer. It's like
exactly. It's like a DAW.
like a DAW. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mario, can you take us through your studio, because you've got so many nice shiny toys in your background? I see the Synthi just behind your head. Is that an original Synthi?
Yeah, the Synthi. Yeah.
An original?
No, it's a
original. Yeah. No, it's like cardboard only.
It's printed.
It's cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like this is a clone of the 808, like the tier 8080. I don't know if you know this one. 909, the Lira.
Yeah, I love the Lira.
Strymon pedals and Eventide. North Leaf, A1. Here below, no, you are not seeing this one. The Pro 2, Dave Smith Pro 2. And then the mainly the modular and some other effects there. The Vermona. The acid, I don't know if it's not in video, but the Avalon baseline is like a clone like a 303.
You have here a distortion pedal, very cool one.
These ones, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
RML, Retro Mechanical Labs.
Super cool.
Really great stuff. Yeah.
So is everything connected to a desk, or do you go straight to your sound card? How is it patched up?
I have a mixer, a Midas mixer here in front. I don't know if I can move the computer because
I believe you.
The mixer, and there is the speakers, and
you use PMCs? Are those PMCs?
Yeah, PMCs. But there, I have all here in the patch bay.
Okay. So
I have all the studio connected to the patch bay, so I only have to change in the patch bay things so all is connected to patch bay to the power and working for select the channel and put in the channel. So yeah.
So your stuff, your music sounds very sound designy. There's always stuff going on. I like music where I'm scratching my head. How the hell did he do that? And when I listen to your stuff, it's always very rich in textures and very complex. So do you do everything through the patch bay? So you make like big chains of like signal paths running things into each other and stuff like that, or do you do a lot of DSP in the box? How do you? What's your approach usually?
Sincerely, I don't have a fixed workflow, because
Yeah.
sometimes I start some groove or some kind of synth in the modular, and then go to analog effects with the pedals, but other times I just record the audio loop and then start to mangling and destroying in computer in the DAW. So I don't have a fixed workflow. And sometimes I do tracks and almost 90% only computer, even if I have all of this. And sometimes I do the track
Yeah.
mainly only analog. So it depends. I don't have a fixed workflow for that. I like the both worlds. I like the
But
good things of the digital and the good things of analog.
But what I'm curious about is where in the process does the sound design and the shaping of the total sound happen? Is it something you do from the beginning? Is it like you're processing part of the writing process, or how does that work with you?
I would say my sound, maybe the texture or the detail, the rawness or the texture of the sounds, maybe is from modular, from machines, but then all the more all the changes, the arrangement, and all the more focused stuff is in the computer.
And the modulations, all the modulations are with
The
the
sound,
computer.
the pure sound of or the texture of a synth maybe is more came from the modular or the analog gear. But then I destroy a lot in software all the signals. I love to shape sounds with software, because you have tools that are really amazing in software also. Sometimes I feel that modular is really limited in the shaping things of sound, because I have the problem that I'm so obsessive sometimes that I want to shape something like to the final state. I love how it sounds, and I can do it with modular, for example, because in computer I can go with a compressor, then a EQ, then again a distortion, then a filter, and that will cost 1 hour in modular by cables. And so I tend more to use the machines more like the basis of the sound, but then I use the software for shape the final
So
sound.
the generation of the sound mostly comes from the machines, and
Yeah.
then later the modulation and this kind of more processing comes from the software, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I work like this too. I'm more into Bitwig now, and this is a dream for modulation. You can modulate everything there, so it's very cool to do like this.
Yeah, I'm using Bitwig also for a year now, because I was using Live always, but I'm changing to Bitwig because it's really wide and really flexible, and it's amazing. I started to it's funny because I started to make the mix of analog gear with control, the modular especially, and control with software, with the endorphins, the subtle control that it is here, and then started to see how powerful it is to control with the software and the DAW the modular, because the options are infinite. And
this kind of integration. This kind of integration between the modular and the modulation of the Bitwig is, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's very cool.
Yeah, I'm using now with Bitwig the Expert Sleepers EX8, that is like direct with ADAT connection. And it's like 8 channels for I can send modulation to LFOs or envelopes or to the modular directly from Bitwig in the project I'm working on. So sometimes I feel it's faster than just using the modular. You take like seconds for send an envelope from an envelope follower in the DAW, for example, and send to modular. And in modular, you have to go with the audio signal from the sound card, put in the module, and more cables on.
Yeah.
So it's both
If you
worlds
are
are
looking,
really powerful, but really different.
if you are looking for something more that comes fast, looking more like a improvisation, this workflow works. Is very good
Yeah.
option. I'm very into this too. Yeah, I'm working more into the more musical kind of music now, but anyway, it's cool this modulation from the beatwork. Yeah.
Nice. Julia, I was just checking your Bandcamp and I saw you did this cassette a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get the idea to do a cassette? Because it sounds more sort of rough and more like sketches than your usual output. It's a bit I wouldn't what's the right word? A bit more basic and underground.
Yeah, because I like underground. Like just recently, I started to make my music more commercial, but coming with the first records, I think of every artist, they are always on the ground. Yeah, and for example, cassette. I was releasing my second album. This was the second album on Detroit Underground, and I had my live show because I had always live show, but I never recorded it. And of course, but while you have it, you always change, shape it, like adding or removing something. And once I got this message from Carol from Detroit Underground, and he said, "I saw your live because I went live with my in Instagram," and he said, "I saw your live. Do you want me to make a cassette for you for this live?" And then I recorded it in one take. Yeah, so it's
okay.
kind of sketches.
Yeah, I guess that's why I like it, because it sounds very rough and very instant and authentic. It's
It's almost dollless, absolutely zero. It's just straight modular.
Yeah, you're right. It does sound like a live set, like a one take. I like the sound.
Because for me it's very important in live set how for DJs probably it's easier because they I'm not a DJ, so I don't know about how to DJ. And I have imagination, but I never did it myself. So I understand how they make this nice transition between tracks, and that's what I also wanted for live shows. If you have different tracks, you also should create nice transition between them. So all my shows were based like different tracks, but they mutate from one to another, and you even will not notice. So this record happened to be like one track transforms to another track, and so that's why I'm actually proud of this, because it's unique at some point.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So you said it's your first, so it's not recent. So what has changed in your setup?
Yeah, this tape was like 2 years ago, I guess. And now, since then, I released like a lot of music, and now I'm releasing my first vinyl. So of course, so I learned a lot because I started to work only with modular synthesizers and only Endorphins modular synthesizers because I wanted to also learn because when I got into Endorphins, Endorphins company, I didn't know anything about synthesizers, and so I learned from scratch. And for me, it was difficult to learn, to be honest. I'm not the type of nerd that I will be sitting and learning. For me, it must be very entertained, and that's why I also bring into a company, some entertainment, because when I got into the business, everything was very boring, like all demos and everything. I've been in lots of concerts, and mostly it was avant-garde, very experimental music, which I'm not into a lot. And I said to Andreas, he's my boyfriend, and he's the developer and the CEO of company. And I said we should make something more entertained. because everything is just pale.
So you injected some Julia into Endorphins.
Yeah, I would say so.
From
And
who
then,
come the endorphins?
so I learned a lot, because I come from zero knowledge about it. I wouldn't say I know about. For example, now I see all these machines behind Kastil, and for me it's like, oh my God, I would not have so much passion to discover all of these machines. I don't have so much patience.
Well, I would
step by step.
to be honest, I would say that getting into music or producing music through modular is probably a harder way than to buy drum machines or a DAW first. That is it's so I'm not really sure that it's so easy what you've done. It's
When you're
it was very difficult for me as well. But I have Andreas by my side, who is a genius, and of course he guided me through all of this. So I have somebody to ask. I don't need to Google. I don't need to go to forums because I have instant answer to my question.
You're at the source. You're at the source.
Yeah, at the source. Yeah. And so then I started to add some DAW to my. So I started to record my when I was started to make my tracks only on on my modular case, which I also built for so long to understand what I need, what is missing. But then it was very linear. And then I started to make some shapes in Cubase and basically I don't use any effects, for example. I don't shape a lot the sound. I just shape the structure in Cubase. So that's how I work. But all of the sounds, they are all from samples or from modular synths. So this is my approach.
So you multi-track everything, or is it just a stereo track?
Multi-track, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much how I work. Yeah, just play everything live, multi-track it, and then just clean things up.
Yeah, and the most important that I can take the same and I can reproduce it in the stage. And and when I have the structure on my computer, I shape the structure of my track in my modular. So I also mute something, remove, add according to what I built in the Cubase, because. So I spent a few hours building the structure in Cubase, and then instead it works better. So I also can. So it's like both way, from modular to Cubase, and then from Cubase to modular.
And what you use to mix everything?
I don't mix. I don't know anything about mixing. I don't know anything about mixing and mastering. And I was lucky enough for my first record. I got my friend Guy Loison from Twiddlers. You know the French company of modular synthesizers. They mostly distortion modules. Twiddlers. So he's my good friend. He was kind to mix me. My first record is in my neighborhood. And then I pay people to mix it because I don't know anything about it.
Actually, I think Sergio means how do you mix your live set? Because
exactly.
I was wondering the same. I was wondering the same thing because you explained how you prepare your stuff, and then there must be a way to mute and unmute and check the levels. What? How do you do that without a mixer? Or do you use?
I have modular mixer. I have modular mixer.
Right. Okay.
It's 6 HP, very small, 6 HP cockpit Endorphins mixer, which is I think amazing mixer. I have 2 because I need more channels, and it has side chain. I also side chain my kick through this.
So how many channels you have at the end in the live set? How many channels to mix?
Yeah, it's like probably 7, 8 channels. Yeah.
Okay. I'm with 6 and it's enough. So I think that with 8 you are busy with, but cool.
Yeah. I have some even free jacks in my cockpit mixer. So and this is very small. It's in my case. It's perfect for my case.
Nice. Yeah, I'm using this Alien Head, the Alien Head, or sometimes the model one, but both with 6 channels, because for me 6 is the good number of channels to mix.
Okay, that's cool. You mean you use a DJ mixer for your
Yeah,
your live set?
absolutely.
Yeah, I do the same. Yeah, it's
I do the same.
yeah, so it gives you the control you need, because if
Absolutely.
I used to play with an actual studio or live desk,
Mhm.
Yeah.
16 channels or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's it's a little bit more flexible because you have more auxiliaries and more sort of uh, more finesse in the EQ. But to be honest, I think a DJ mixer works perfectly well for live
Yeah.
sets, because it gives you more performance options. It's like
Absolutely.
bigger gestures, less to care about, less brain work and more,
Yeah, it's what we
working from
what.
the guts. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think there is a big relationship with people that is first as DJ and then start to do live
yeah,
set. Like
maybe.
Julia said before, she's not a DJ, so she her approach is like really different making the music. But for example, for me, my live set is I feel doing my live set like I'm playing records but doing the music
Yeah,
with the
mixing.
mixer and the EQ, and when I use the sound filters, a part of the filters of the modular, and I see myself doing the live set like I'm playing records, but
Yeah,
doing the music. So I think there is a strong relation with that, I think.
yeah. For me, the mixing in the live set is still being the more important thing. So I need this kind of mixers, very dynamic and very like a DJ.
Yeah, because for example, also in the modular, beside mixer, I don't even touch mixer during my live performance. I just make it touch it when it's sound check, and then I have mutes in other modules, so I can mute there. Or for example, as a sequencer, I use Beatstep Pro, and I can mute there, so I don't need to touch the sequencer at all.
Is there anything in your setup that controls the dynamics? Like, if you don't use the mixer, is there something? Do you use a limiter or something like that to keep the dynamics?
Yeah. I have because I had this situation, without limiter. I had, and it's very basic. I forgot the name. Finalizer.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
use finalizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I-
if there's one good recipe for blowing up sound systems, it's not using faders or dynamics control and a modular.
And now we want to make finalizer in Eurorack format, because I think it's would be like necessary stuff that not exist in the market.
Yeah, cool. I'm using these Elysia models from Series 500
Oh
series.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You started a 500 series rack.
Yeah, the compressor one is becoming an important part for the live set. Yeah,
Okay.
I saw someone using it. I saw Luke using this, and Luke Slater, and I think it's awesome to use this kind of racks for process at the end. After the mixer.
So you take that on the road?
Yeah,
Okay.
but just a very small one with
Right.
two models, and it's awesome because I like the idea to make a final processing of the music after the mixer, to give a special sound that gives something different, and these ones are awesome.
Yeah, I've
Super
been
cool.
looking into the Alicia stuff. It's very powerful stuff. Really,
Very
it goes
nice.
beyond like normal dynamics control. They're basically instruments by themselves. They're very
Yeah,
powerful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mario is who recommended these models to me, and it's are amazing.
Of course, Mario. What else?
Yeah, are you using it, Mario? You have some too.
Of Series 500.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or not
No,
yet.
I don't have so much. I have the
Okay.
Elysia compressor and
Yeah,
the I have the SAL EQ, the German one, that is really great. But I don't have so much. I have outboard racks, but that one, no.
Yeah, and
But I found a really, because I was looking for a better sound in the live set in the past years, because for me the modular sounds really powerful. At some point you don't need to compress or maybe limiting for don't go so with the peak so high, but it's a really powerful song with the synth and stuff. But I feel more lacking power in the drums. My first live sets was like direct drum machines with the modular, and I always found like the drums were not strong enough, like a finished record, like the sound I wanted. And then I started to use samplers with the loops processed from my music for the drums, mixed with the modular. That is my actual setup. It's not a drum machine, a raw drum machine sounding without compressor. And the sound now of the all the live set, the wall sound is much more powerful, like a finished record.
And more controllable. Yeah.
Yeah. What exactly. I'm looking for this, I'm using these models in another way. I'm using it for glue everything to make like a wall. I'm very obsessed in this kind of wall of music, this wall of sound, very into, because I come from industrial music, and I love this kind of wall of sound. For me, it's very important. And with this kind of processing at the end of the mix, you can go into this direction, and then it sounds very special. You need a lot of time in the sound check, because if you don't take care of it, at the end can sound like a ball of shit. But
it's as much a tool that you can use to enhance, but if you make a wrong decision, you can also completely destroy your sound.
It can be a disaster.
I see some comment
for example, people. Sorry.
Yeah, I was looking at this because it's about the 500 series. From a comment from I think it's Chen Saus. I don't know. Sorry, Chen. What's up, man? The 500 series is like the modular of studio equipment. It's shame it's so expensive. But I would say it's true for that and for modular. You shouldn't buy everything at the same time. You just get one thing and really learn and understand the possibilities, and then maybe move on to the next one after a while. So it is expensive, but you can make it as expensive as you want. And I would say to anyone, starting a modular is probably the best thing if you just get 3 things, or maximum, and then.
Well, people say about starting the modular is expensive, especially I hear it a lot, and taking in account what people else need beside, like if not taking in account as not modular, so it's not less money for other gear at all.
And at the end, this series 500 is expensive, but with one module you can do the work of 3 of the Euro.
Well, I think the 500 series is the cheapest way to go to the outboard stuff, because you have modules that the same version in rack in outboard is like almost double the price. So you have the Elysia compressor for 600. So and this a stereo compressor, a really good one.
Yeah, very good one.
But it's expensive, but it's the cheapest way of outboard gear for mixing and mastering.
Our friend Robin is in the chat saying the same thing as you. So it's a cheaper, more hands-on version of the high end.
Because it's high end, absolutely. At the end, this series of modules are more for processing, and Euro rack is more focused to generate audio. It's different kind of.
Here's an interesting one from Conan Johnston. Maybe we should go around and have all of us comment on this. If you would want to start a modular, what 3 modular pieces would you recommend?
Cool. For me, as oscillators, I love the localic ones. It's my kind of sound. Don't know what do you think, but for me, it's one that should be on this. the Iteritas, I think. What do you think, Mario?
Yeah, I have that one, and the Manis Iteritas and Localic Iteritas, and I love the sound. It's a really harsh sound. It's like a really focused on high frequencies and a bit digital, but with filters, and it's really really special sound. I like those. Yeah.
Yeah. Then from Make Noise, this I don't know. This Maths, I think Maths is very a good one to have. No.
Yeah. The tool. Mats is like the tool.
It's like a Swiss Army knife for modulation, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will say one of my recommendation with for the first oscillator would be a complex oscillator, like the Endorphins for generator or the Bearbox complex oscillator or something like that. Because you learn a lot of synthesis with one of these. If you go with a simple oscillator, you are more limited. You can go with 2 oscillators and modulate in between, but with a complex oscillator, you start from something a bit more stepped up.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a nice introduction to synthesis.
Yeah.
To push yourself, no, a bit.
Yeah, I guess
I would probably agree about complex oscillator, and not because of we have complex oscillators, but definitely learn and you immediately have nice sound, but not on and rest. It's the tools that you can manipulate the sound. That's it. It can be really only 3 oscillator for the beginning. You don't not three modules in the beginning. You maybe don't even need more than 3. And then you explore. And what is also good about modulars that you can sell it and not always lose lots of money on it.
Yeah, you mean it retains its value? Yeah.
Yeah, it retains its value.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Now.
There's on a lot of forums, you can see these things like selling this and this module for rent or something. It's almost like a currency, isn't it?
Yeah.
You buy modules, and whenever you get tired of it or you need money, you just sell it again. It's like
it's an investment.
A hardware wallet.
Yes.
You can start a company.
Some people invest in bags, right? Like in fashion items, and it depends.
You could do renting in Endorphins, renting of models.
We had that idea.
20 euros every month. Not bad.
Yeah, why not?
At the end.
Well, at least the modular is like the vintage machines, no? You are not losing so much money when you buy and sell, and it's not like the new machines that all the new stuff, drum machines, and this maybe is more. You are losing more money because you have a lot of people buying them and then a lot of people selling them. So. But I think the modular is like a good balance.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking to introduce a channel on our Discord server for trading modules, because I'm actually going to do it now, because now I hear this and I see some things in the comments about the thing is, it is like a currency. You people who own this stuff always have 1 or 2 they want to get rid of, or always have a wish list on Modular Grid or something like that, So
and to
trading system might actually work.
And to do exchange, because sometimes you can say, hey, I have this module and I'm using it for months and I would like to try this one, and then you can do an exchange, something like that. Why not?
Sorry, I already dropped the idea to the Discord server, and I failed until now to set it up. So he's apparently happy that it's going to happen. Yeah, it should be good.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
So Sergio, I got this promo of Sorobon today. Can we talk?
Yes.
Can we talk about this, or is it still under embargo? Okay.
No, it's from today. We can talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. Congratulations, man. It's.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if Julia and Kastil already know what we are talking about. It's the.
Before I saw some announcement, just very quickly. I didn't have time to read, but it's 15th of September. You will drop your
album
release,
on
right?
Axis. It's on Axis.
Yeah, it's on Axis.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
so. Yeah,
Mario knows very good because
I know it. I know it good. Yeah, I made the mastering. Yeah.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, congratulations on the album. I listened to it today, and it sounds amazing.
You could listen it. Okay.
Yeah. I got the promo. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's more. I'm very focused on this kind of stuff now. More cinematic, sci-fi, a bit musical. Of course. Some tracks are into techno, but I'm more focused on this kind of more sci-fi.
Yeah, it kind of the whole thing listens as a story. It sort of has a.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's very conceptual album. Yeah.
What's the concept?
Soroban is the Japanese abacus, and
calculator.
Yeah, it's this kind of very rudimentary calculator, but the scientists realized that this machine helped to develop some things into the human brain and in general the mathematics, and then the album evolves, the tracks are evolving like the human brain evolves with the history, Then it's at the beginning is some more easy listening tracks. Then later comes the more and more complex, and then later at the end are more reflexive ones.
Okay. Did you come up with the concept afterwards, or was it something you worked from the beginning? Because I always cheat with concepts. I always come up with the concept. After I've done something, I think, maybe this should be the concept.
Let's see. Like the painters, no?
Yeah.
Like,
just fuck around, do something, and then afterwards, let's make a concept around it so it's more interesting.
Yeah. This is the usual way of work, but with this album, I tried to. For the last 2 years, I'm trying to do tracks after an idea, after a concept, and this is the kind of sound that I have with this.
So basically, what you mean by concept in this sense, it's basically a guideline, or like a sort of like a thing to make decisions along the process about the where the music is going.
Yeah, usually I like a lot this kind of scientific stuff. So I'm always reading all these kind of things, and when I find something interesting, then I try to learn a lot on this thing, and then to translate it to music. This is the music at the end is like a conclusion of my research into these different topics, scientific ones.
So So you usually research some different scientific topics. This
Sorry,
is your
again?
besides doing music, first of all, the concept you come up because you like the science. That's why that inspires you to make music, let's say.
Yeah. I'm always inspired by other things than music to make music.
Yeah, of course, but in this case, by science, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because science, it's it's inspiring definitely, but usually it's very routine.
At the end, this kind of work became very difficult for me because I was used to do like you said, making music, waking up and starting the machines in the studio and making. And now that I'm trying this other direction, it's going much more difficult, but the final the music at the end becomes interesting, so looks like for me it works. So it's coming next week.
Nice.
Congrats. Very I want to hear it now.
I make it. These tracks are quite news and quite new music, and I did it as Mario told before, mixing a lot of software with machines and not with a clear workflow, using everything, using the iPad apps and everything. Yeah.
So there seems to be this Spanish connection going on between Axis and
Yeah, what
and
happens?
yeah, with Tadeo
Adeo,
also,
yeah.
yeah, also coming out with an album. It's cool. It's really nice.
Yeah, I think in Spain we have a very big influence from Axis and Jeff, because yeah, at the end of the 90s and the beginning of the 2000, Jeff and Axis was there in Spain a very big hype, and yeah, I like a lot the concept behind Axis and this more philosophical kind of way. I like a lot. So yeah, and the Tadeo albums are very very good ones too. I like it.
Nice
Let's
one.
see. Yeah, thank you. Let's see.
So when was? Oh, sorry, Julia. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, before COVID, everybody, like many people, many artists wanted to release music, but they knew there will be no show, so probably there is no point to release if you cannot make a tour or something. And now it's like come on, like really enough of this, and like it's not about even the tours, but like new music, and people start to release this autumn a lot of new music finally, because I mean, we all believe that all this madness will finally, and artists can start live like normal life. And by the way, 17th of September, we are going to protest in Spain. We have a protest about like this red alert. We will protest against all these restrictions, and I will participate in this.
Yeah, I think in the next months are a lot of new music coming because everyone was in the studio for this month.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, not. I mean, the cool thing that I'm seeing happening around me is that it's not only just making new music, but doing things. People have been picking up projects that they've shelved for a long time or that they wanted to do and never really got around to doing. So there's all these other sides coming out of people, showing sort of other sides of their interest and other ideas, and it seems to be less focused on making functional music, but it's more sort of expanding into other territories, which I think is very interesting.
Yes. Yeah, it's that way. Yeah, and at the end, a lot of us were making music to play in the clubs. It's like as you said, functional music, and now you have time to explore more. Yeah, let's see.
Is that true? Is that true for you too, Mario? Have you been venturing out into different territories, or?
I was doing in all the lockdown. I was doing a lot of techno also, but I started because I have more time, so I made more music, but I started to make my more experimental stuff because I play some live sets of more ambient experimental stuff, but just improvisation, and I recorded some tracks for maybe release someday, and already released a cassette and some music like that before, but yeah, when you have more time, it's like you are saying, because you are focused to the club sound and techno records, EPs, or 3 or 4 cuts for the club. And when you have more time, your mind is in a different position. It's like, okay, well, we'll create this thing because I don't have like the hurry or the pressure of release club music, or so I think would be great to have a break like this, not because what we are having now, this break, but every year like a month that you can stop and have more time, at least for me, because I have another work. No, I'm not living for music only, but so So I think it's really it's really inspirational. For
me the
for
ideal
create different things, and
the ideal thing for me would be to release an album every day, a long one, like a 12 or
every day.
yeah, every day, every year, and done. It's like for me is enough. Not I don't need to release an EP and another. Yeah, I prefer to do like this. But like the business techno was till now, this was of course it's possible, but you are a bit lost as a producer if you think in this kind of way. Like okay, it's everything is going very fast, and you release an album, and the next week your album is all, and you was 1 year working on it. This is maybe one of the reasons why the people is releasing one EP, another, and another. It's because the things are for the people forget the music very fast. I remember.
It's
No?
funny because I have to learn from you about the album thing and the stuff, because I never released a solo album, and it's like I don't feel myself like I ready for make an album. Never. It's like because
Yeah.
I really
it's otherwise. I think
really-
album is important.
I don't know.
like the way
I'm
of
really demanding
Julia.
with my like really demanding with myself with my work, and it's like, okay, I want to do an album, but I think we'll wait a bit more, and I'm waiting for years already.
But what is not like why?
I think maybe it's because I have in my mind like the album is like I don't know, like the final piece of make your best work. You release club music or you release ambient
No.
or other music, but the album has to be really your best work. And
No,
I'm
but
not ready.
at the end, when you listen your first album years after, it's very cool because you see that you are evolving into the music, and you see the moment where you was in the beginning. It's cool. Especially in the kind of music that Julia do, because I feel that Julia is making a bit something very pop. There are something very pop into the Julia's music, and this is have sense into a album. And then you can listen it years later, and it's on a conceptual album. It's a piece like have something pop.
Yeah, thanks.
And you
I actually always was inspired by like very commercial pop music. I never was into techno like before, and then I started to see some that my modular system can do techno, and it's like mixed. But I never like tried to follow some genre or to copy some genre and to be restricted by some genre. It just sometimes I don't know how to call my genre because it's just music what comes from my instruments, and I like how it sounds. I record it, and sometimes I don't know how to call it, and it can be commercial or not or underground. I don't care because it's something like from inside of me also, this unity with my instrument.
And do you think?
Well, I was guessing, to be honest, if there were any influences, there's a lot of this sort of synth pop new romantic Gary Newman type vibe in your music. No, I was actually thinking maybe that's a style you're a fan of, but it's well before your age, I guess. So it's I don't know. So that's obviously not something that influences you.
Well, maybe yes.
There is nobody particularly influenced me. Not too much actually. Synthwave. No, I wouldn't say that synthwave. It was the moment of my life I was listening to this, but I found this very old school. So I not really big fan of this. Like I like some work, but there are some few particular works I can really keep listening, but many of them are too high frequencies because they have and I like more like low frequency music. I don't like very like hi-hats. I even don't use a lot of hi-hats in my music because I like this like but I like very electro style probably influence.
Do you think the machines, for you all, do you think the machines are conditioning the music we do? And because I'm always very into this topic, because I think that we all are thinking that we are very free making music and we do the music that we want. But I think that at the end, we do the music that the machines makers are allowing us to make, because at the end we have the limitation of the machines, it's every machine have a sound, a kind of sound, and it's very difficult to go out to this kind of sound with the machines,
Well,
and
it's impossible. It's just impossible to
it's
have.
impossible, exactly.
It's impossible to have a clear idea in your head and then exactly replicate that. That's just an annoying hell of a job, and it'll get you nowhere. But I think it's a bi-directional thing. So it's an interactive thing. So you do something on the machine, it gives you something back, and you react on that. So it's action reaction, and in infinite cycles. So in that sense, you could also I would say that you could regard instruments as a band member almost. I mean, they don't have, especially with synthesis. You know what you want to do and kind of know how to get there, but it's always giving you something surprising, which might lead you in another direction. And so it's like not really a conversation, but it's like a path that you take. Where some of it is guided by your brain or your mind or your mood or your feeling, and the other part is guided by how the instrument reacts on what you are doing. So it's it's impossible to set yourself a goal and exactly trying to exactly make that.
It's very fun.
Frustrating and impossible.
If you listen the music of the 80s and so, you can listen presets of the machines in the tracks directly, presets, with from the Juno, and you can listen, I don't know, Duran Duran, everything, this kind of music, and they are using presets of the machines.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but now it's not working, right? Because you see, like it's past. It's in the past already. You need to create something new, like.
Well, I think that's the way that a lot of the keyboard players from bands from the 80s, they're key people and not synthesists, So they're used to. I mean, there are, of course there are exceptions. There are also amazing synthesists from those times. But if you're talking about pop bands, taking a Jupiter on stage or something like that, of course they go through the presets and just finding the one that it suits their needs, But we look at synthesizers a completely different way. We actually look at them as sound machines that you can use to create sounds. I mean, there's something to say for both, I guess, but it's a different approach, and it's a different background, a different path.
I feel the thing that Sergio say about some machines sounds in a way or something, but I think it's because people is not trying to break that, because sometimes you get a drum machine from Electron or something, and you, like you say, start using the samples that the machine has, the factory samples, and a lot of people sound the same because it's using in the same way, because the manufacturer made that kind of instrument for use in that way. But when you break the limits and you use a drum machine like a synth or in a different way, it is where maybe the instruments does not sound like are supposed to sound. I don't know. I have a funny thing in computer in a studio when I'm doing music, like a random generator, like numbers, and I have a list of all my gear, and I have a list like you, Hoshem, said about the band the people of a band with the instrument, the drums, the guitar, and I have the random generator, and sometimes it's like I apply for the sound I want to do, and I apply for the instrument I want to use. And
So
it's like
that's like a strategy. It's just to
Yeah.
make
Yeah, it's
limit to limit yourself and see what
with-
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked before the connection about you have sometimes if you have a lot of gear, you have to limit yourself sometimes because you want to create a kick drum and you look at the machines and you say, okay, I can do a kick drum with a lot of things, and you go with the random generator, and it's like, okay, kick drum, and it's like with the synthy, and I have to do a kick drum with the synthy, and it's
that is such a nerdy way of doing it.
it's a really great
You
way
are
of
very cynic.
it's a really great way of learn a different approach of the instruments, really. And for me, I'll let yeah, it's a really nerd way, but
No, but it works.
Yeah.
It works. I mean, I do the same thing, but I consciously pick the instruments that I limit myself to. I would think, okay, if I use this, what would happen if I run it through that, or if I connect it to the other piece of gear, blah blah blah. And so I don't use a random generator to choose them, but more like an idea how it could turn out. And then of course it doesn't turn out the way I thought it would, but it's a starting point and it's a limitation which gets you going, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Or
cool.
Like someone says
I'm gonna try your random generator.
No,
It's gonna take a while to number all the instruments, though. It's
very accurate.
It's a hard work, yeah. But I think it's great because you the constraints, limitations you put yourself in a studio is a really vital thing for me, at least.
Yeah, I see that.
Another thing I do sometimes, because I know you both record in multi-track all the stuff live and using the track. Sometimes I'm doing in software, I'm doing like an structure, and then I do like a jam set with a synth, with a lead synth, and I record like 5 minutes with the filter going out, and I take the 5 minutes piece, and without cut anything, I put in the arrangement, and this is limiting myself. Where is the break in the track? Where is so I use this kind of way of make music to take an audio, and some people cut the first part and then use only a loop. I try sometimes, so okay, I will use the 5 minutes like it is. And that's works great for limiting yourself for the arrangement.
You mean that limiting yourself is time of the track only?
But it's like a part of the arrangement, because if you start to make the music all live, sometimes
it gets rid of some of the decisions because you already committed yourself to using that part. So there are some things that you cannot decide over anymore because you already decided that this is it. That's something you have to work with.
Or sometimes you are doing live jam stuff, and if you are controlling the drum machine, you maybe are not changing the filter of the synth. So you work in a more focused way or more robotic way, and this kind of workflow works for me really well. For limit from parts of the tracks or things like that.
I was in the past working many years ago, making CD loop sounds for Sony, this Acid Pro. And I was making music in this way a lot of years, like making a very, very long pool of sounds and making more and more and more very into the sound design, and then later playing like making a puzzle. But the music was okay, but was not working at the end like now with the machines, and because I don't know why something happened. Something happens when you work in this way, like making.
It's like Legoing.
Yeah,
like playing with Lego.
Yeah.
It's
and then later,
I always call it painting by numbers. You know these things, these canvases you get, and there's a drawing on it, and every little piece of the thing has a number, and every number stands for a color.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's what it feels like to me. If you
Yeah.
if you have a bank of samples and try to make a puzzle out of
Yeah,
something
exactly.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and then later I was
It's
tuning
cool though.
everything and
Yeah.
so, but anyway, it was not the same. Yeah,
Mm.
like very very static, something. Yeah, like that. At the end, is this random thing is very cool.
I saw something coming up from PA Tuseth. What's up, PA?
Hello.
It's a question for Mario, for Kastil. How do you balance the job as a producer and your other job? Because he next says this: every time I worked other jobs that is music related, I always ended up not making music. But you seem to be very productive. So how do you manage
Yeah.
to be productive with
One
all
one
this
of
other stuff on your mind?
one of the key things is you have to be really productive and work a lot in your work and in music, a lot of hours. But I feel for me in the artistical part of the create music, for me my work my work is my economic basis. For me is like the freedom in music. I always say the same because it's what I feel. If I have to choose music and live only from music, I'm
It would
sure
be stressful. Yeah.
and I will be more limited to I have to release records, I have to make gigs, I have to, and I don't want that. I have a freedom with the financial part of half a job, and I create the music I like and without pressure. And so for me, it's really important to keep this balance. Exactly.
Yeah, makes
Yeah, it
sense.
is. Yeah,
Sometimes now with this situation, I have a lot of friends that are living from music only, and they are in hard times now because no gigs and so I see I don't want to be in this situation. So I feel finding a good balance of the two for me works really really well.
But still, you have to also be very good in time management, because if you only
Yeah.
have
yeah.
so how do you deal with that? Do you set yourself time limits to work on things, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I limit again myself a lot in the studio also for finished tracks. And because if I start to jam and make music like only jamming for fun, I don't finish music. I don't finish tracks. So I limit a lot myself with the process. I have like four stage in the track production. I have like the writing, I have the arrangement, I have the part of mixing and the final tweaks, and then ready for pre-master. Like I'm doing my own mastering. I do like a pre-master with a final stage of mastering during the production. So it's like those four stages. And if a track is in the mixing stage and I have the next day 2 hours, I limit myself. I have the finish this stage in 2 hours. So
You like
if not,
pressure.
I can go for years with a track.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, do you like pressure? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
put I
way.
put pressure in myself for be productive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
good.
example, for me it's same because like every day I work with Endorphins office like all necessary hours like as a normal job, and then only in the weekends I have time to make my music. So I'm not jamming. I'm going to my studio like with the intention to make some track or to start some track or to have some sketch. It's not will be just for fun. And I know many people like here in Spain, in Barcelona, around me, they just, let's hang out in your studio, let's make some jam. And I know I'm making track, I need to really focus on it, and I have to, like, it's a discipline at some point. You really have to, like, very good. And especially you can say no to some friends that you're not going to hang out with them because you have some plan to be done. It's like it's a tough decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like the same. If I go to the studio, something always happens. So there's never any waste of time. So if you maybe people who do have a job and they feel like they're worn out, whatever, and don't feel inspired, well, don't wait for the inspiration. Just go to the studio to
Yeah,
sit or
it's not about
Absolutely.
inspiration, I guess. It's
no,
about
it's just
hard work
yeah,
and
it's just
learning. Yeah.
exactly. You just try, just do something and something will happen, at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you wait for inspiration, you will never do
No.
nothing because
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
this.
It's never
The
enough.
Inspiration
normal
is not working.
Normally the best tracks came from the worst days in the studio.
With the big mistakes, no?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually, when I create music, I cry because it's never what I want. So I cry and then it starts to be better. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult balance because when I was making this job with the acid, with the Sony loops, at the end of the day, I was too tired to make music. It's like when you are in a very technical way many hours, then the creativity goes very down. Unless for me, this is why I'm not very into very technical things like mastering and this kind of things, because for me it's too much. I need more, goes more into the musical creativity way.
Sergio, by the way, can you tell us about more about how you like managed to be to run successful label, because your label like really like
Yeah.
it's a good like, yeah, because as we talked previously with you, it's now there are many labels, right? And nobody works properly. So maybe you can give some like, I don't know, some insights about it.
Yeah, to work on a label is a hard work, and the people think that it is something very easy, but it is not. It's a hard work, and you need to work every day on it, and yeah, need a lot of time. So yeah, it's another job. I
Yeah.
I have many jobs now here,
Mhm.
the label, making music, and yeah. Now I was working in another kind of job till I moved here in Germany. So now I'm trying, but yeah, I like a lot the way that Mario says that another job gives you the freedom of make exactly what you want into music. This is very nice nowadays, because if not, you have pressure because the business, and yeah, I don't like this way.
Managers.
Do you have a manager?
No, of course not. I mean, I would say it would like if you like sometimes to be successful artist, it's not one person job only. Yeah, it's a whole team should work on it. A lot of should be done, except just music. Like to be noticed, it's like a lot of job included besides making music. So
For me,
that's why.
it's a bit sad this way nowadays of the people wanting to be a successful artist. This is for me, it's very wrong. It's like I make music because I like to make music. If then later I can do a gig, it's cool. If then later I can do one gig every week, it's better. But I'm not thinking to be a successful artist.
Yeah.
It's
Me
like with
neither.
the
For example, I like to have that certain nice gigs, maybe less. But yeah, at the beginning when I just started with modular, I took every gig possible, like absolutely free gig in very bad venues. Like, but it was necessary for me because I learned this way. Without these
Of
gigs, I
course.
wouldn't learn.
Yeah, you've got to do the dirty work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. But now I can choose. I'm happy about it, and yeah, like no, it's not about gigs because you have extra job. That's why gigs are not that important. Like it's important, yeah, but it's not that essential that you need.
Yeah, it's the same with the gear and stuff. When you see this wall of Mario, the people say, "Okay, I want to have all this stuff," and the people start buying and buying and buying. And don't work like this. It's like, hey, step by step. No, it's like, yeah, this is social media is very bad for this kind of things. Like the people want what they say, what they see on the photos, and they want it now, and don't work like this. It's like to have a
Well, I
studio like
think
this
the
with years.
important thing about social media is to spread the news, and then you can decide, right? Because as I make a marketing manager for Endorphins, so I understand, for example, I can make a module and be humble about it and don't tell anybody, and maybe somebody will discover it one day, or make another decision to spread the news, and people can choose whatever they want or not.
Yeah, but thinking from the side of the brand, it's logic to think like this. But if you are thinking from the side of a
But
teenager
also,
that is starting to learn music,
I believe that this instrument, for example, will like make the life easier for some people. This format or this drum or this sound, because when I come from the very root of modular synthesizer, I saw how people perform and where it evolved now. And it's very different things what I saw like 6-7 years ago and where it is now. So it's a big evolution happened, and it also thanks to the development of new interfaces.
yeah, to where are evolving the modular business, to which kind of
I
stuff?
mean, it's not business; it's music model. The people, the like 6-7 years ago, people were performing only abstract experimental sounds, usually avant-garde, and
No,
now
I mean, if you are a brand, you are a company, it is a business, then you have a plan, a business plan. You see yourself in 5 years, where my company will be in 5 years, which kind of models. Then there is a guidelines where you want to be, and in the world modular brands, I'm sure that there is a direction. I'm sure that in 5 years we will see all the modular brands working in the same kind of things. I mean, you know where we are going.
I think that can be true for being an artist as well. You can, I mean, that's something like career planning. I'm not saying that that I've always done that consciously or smartly, but
Yeah, absolutely.
you can still have like this sort of roadmap in front of you that you decide where you want to go for yourself and still retain complete creative freedom. That is because that can be part of that road, So it's whatever you set yourself as a goal, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a future that you see in the modular things, in the modules. There is a kind of evolving where we are going. We are going to more modules like a DAW, or which kind of, or not. Is nothing that you are thinking
No,
about.
I see that every tool that we have in DAW now can be made in modular first, and then I see. I lost my thought. That people, for example, even like 5 years ago, I was told that there is no future in modular. It will be collapsed because too many manufacturers pops up in the market. And then we say, okay, whatever, we do what we like, we love, and we will keep doing until we'll like, I mean, I'm lucky enough, like also like that my music, and I'm working in the musical industry anyway, like doing modules and working with endorphins. So that's why also inspires me to make music. Of course, it's not like another job. But in the beginning, like it was only because we loved it. It was not business. We were not earning a lot of money from this, And now it expanded. Even many people were told us like that it's going to collapse. It doesn't have future. But we just kept doing what we're doing. It's what happened, what you're doing that you believe in. The same is the music and any other.
Cool. But maybe, for example, you, Mario, you don't see the modules going into a more integration with the software, or not, or maybe.
I don't know if integration, but maybe the more digital stuff, or kind of some things they are releasing kind of presets in the modular world, or things like that. Maybe I don't know for for a easier workflow. But sometimes
Yeah.
what I like from the modular, especially, is that you make a sound one day, you go out of the studio, you came to studio 2 days later, you put on the modular and it's sounding like the first day without a preset. So is the cool thing of the modular. But sometimes you feel a bit the modular is lacking a bit that part of
Flexibility.
I don't know. I think
like a
that
balance.
it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. But you can always record everything you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
It's what
that
you do, really?
I
yeah,
do.
that
I
is
do.
that sort of makes sure it doesn't get lost. But I mean, it it can't be everything at the same time. I think the charm of modular synthesis is the fact that it's a one time ever only affair. You know, it's now it's here and now, and that's where it happens. And if you get what you want, great. Hope you were recording it. If you don't get what you want, you can still keep going and go somewhere else. You know, so it's. I think that's part of the charm. It's more fun than clicking through presets. That's for sure.
Raw sound, because we used to be, because I maybe I'm wrong, but I like this raw sound.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, for me also this is one of the charm.
Did you saw this
I saw.
module?
Oh, sorry. I was just wanting to pick up on this one from Chent again. He's talking about trying to mix while he's producing and trying to master while mixing. I think we were talking about this earlier before we went online.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm curious to know because for example, Mario's music sounds very complex and very sound designy. Is there do you really distinguish the stages of writing, mixing, mastering, arranging, or does it all sort of blend into each other in your process?
At the moment, no anymore, because I was doing music always like different stages. Like you finish the track, and you get a pre-master, and then a guy mix better or do the mastering. But for a year and a half or something like that, I'm doing the production process with the final mastering stage on in the final part. Checking, sometimes putting off. I have a hardware limiter, and I work with the limiter working and with a clipper shaving the peaks. And it's a kind of workflow that it gives you like tricks of what you have to go with this level of the kick drum is really high. And if for me,
so basically it's a way for you to see or to predict how the music is going to sound when it is mastered.
Exactly.
Yeah, and do you take off the bus chain or the master chain off before you send it off to mastering, or do you still give it some treatment before
actually I'm doing my mastering, so before I finish the mixing with a pre-master for send to the master engineer, but I'm doing now all my mastering, so I'm doing the whole process. I finish a pre-master for half a pre-master file, but then I in the next day or some days I do the mastered version already.
Okay. So, but you do your own mastering, but yeah, I sometimes use the same trick, or not trick, but I sometimes have something going on the master bus while I'm mixing it, because just to give you an idea how things are working together, how the relationship between the sounds is going to be when it is mastered. But I always take it off after, before it, to basically be left with a pre-master that somebody else with better ears or with a second opinion can work with,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
for me, the break times, the relax of the tracks is really important part of my process of make music and mastering. To finish something, or maybe in the last stage of mixing that the track is almost finished, I put the project like for 2 weeks without listen to it, and then I listen again. I always do with all my music, and when I listen again.
With
With
fresh
fresh ear.
ears.
Yeah, and sometimes if you are doing a lot of music every day, sometimes even you forget how the track sounds. And the day you listen to it is like, oh, this synth is really high, or this is like really low, a lot of low end, or and you see the things more clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you go back to something and you can actually instantly hear what's wrong, and you
Yeah.
never noticed it while you were playing it before, like in a cycle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that distance, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, but you use Mario this kind of more mastering tools, and so in every channel you when you are making music, or just in the master, like
For
then
for individual tracks,
yeah, yes,
or like a mastering tool.
yeah, for
No, for
individual.
individual tracks, for example, the mastering, the limiter that I have in hardware, it has a clipper that I'm using a lot, the clippers, because I'm almost would say I swapped the compressors for clippers recently. And I'm using that one that is a mastering limiter. The rack is a mastering limiter. Is the Better Maker. I don't know if you know the brand. And I'm using creative in the creative process for clip the sounds individually. And so yes, I'm using stuff that is done for the mastering process in the creative part of
Yeah,
making sounds. And yeah.
this is very very interesting. I think this is something that comes with your sound, because you can see everything very, the processed, the textures and the polyrhythms, and all together like a glue, and these kind of things. Maybe it comes for this way. Yeah, very cool.
Well, a tool is a tool, so whenever it works,
Yeah, yeah,
even though it's not really meant for it, but I think that's true for a lot of instruments even that we use, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
nice. Anyway, how's the comments going?
Yeah, we're running almost 2 hours now. Maybe we should give people a last chance to post any of their urgent questions to us.
Nice.
Let's say hi to some of the Discord people. What's up, Gendrick?
Hey, I have on the phone the app of the Discord. I use the Discord just in the phone. Let's see. because
Yeah, I'll do a little Discord shout out. If people want to hang out with on the Discord server, there should be a link in the description of the video. Maybe it'll be reposted again by Sunday now, but it's a place. It's like for people who don't know what Discord is. It's like a real time forum, sort of like a massive WhatsApp chat, but with similarly annoying sounds, but with many more people. And our Discord is now about 700 people, and yeah, we're hanging out there talking about making music, producing,
yeah,
stuff like that. It's a really becoming a really nice place to get information and to talk you to your peers and colleagues. And
yeah,
so
it
yes,
is.
I invite everybody to have a look there. And you are invited as well. After we go offline with this chat, we usually continue the chat there for some time.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, have a look.
Yeah, I'm there.
Um,
Yeah, I find there a lot of information about, yeah, many different stuff. It's very interesting.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was another thing I wanted to ask you, Sergio.
Mhm.
You work on art installations as well.
Yeah, I'm starting on it. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I love this kind of stuff.
Like what? Like audiovisual installations or
No, are more physical. For the first one is a planet. Is a the half is a half steel sphere, you know, and the other half is made by car speakers, big ones. So at the end you have a big planet ball, and the speakers are sounding to the other steel sphere, very ambient and dark sound. And the speaker on the last speakers of the last speaker of the half sphere have a projector, so project some visuals inside the steel sphere, you know. So at the end,
is that part of some collection in a gallery or museum, or is that something that travels from to audiovisual festivals and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's will move. The first will be in the National Museum in Barcelona, and then from there we'll start turning around. Yeah, we'll see where maybe some festivals and.
That's cool. Does it have a name? People look it up, or doesn't it exist? Doesn't it officially exist yet?
No, not yet. The name is Planet Audio, and yeah, I think we will announce when it becomes. But yeah, it's I love this kind of stuff. Yeah.
And have you worked on the audio, or have you actually been involved in building the whole installation?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Wow, it's great.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit hard work, but at the end, I like to have a piece, you know, a real thing, not just audiovisual. And yeah.
Can I ask you, do you find, for example, sometimes, for example, you have an idea and you realize it's difficult to make it true, but at the same time, it's so difficult to collaborate with people that you better make it your own. This is at least work for me, because for me, I don't know why, but it's not like I'm getting along with people hard, but for me, if you want to make things done, you should do it on your own. This is a formula that works for me. You know, a collaboration very rarely can work for me, for example. So
yeah, to do this kind of stuff, you need a team of people, because it's at the end this planet is 2 meters big. So you need everything for the production. At the beginning, you need to calculate everything with an engineer. You know, you need to know the weight of the things and how to where to put it. How, if you need extra stuff, and you need a team. Yeah, I'm working now with Sonia and Julia, another Julia, who are helping me to make this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a bit complicated.
It sounds like a really good, really nice project, man.
It's very cool. Thank you so much. I will show to everyone when the first one comes.
That would be lovely. Yeah, great.
Nice.
Last question. I promise people to have a chance to ask questions. So let's pull some in for Mario.
Good one.
What are these? They look unusually big. What headphones are you wearing?
Are the Miss Audio, are more like hi-fi headphones, not more not like in a studio kind of headphones.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Romanian company.
So it's like
the name?
Messe Audio, MECE Audio.
Okay.
Messe Audio is Romanian. Yeah, but this is more from the high fidelity stuff, not more studio. Yeah.
So it's high-end audio, no? This kind of.
Yeah, more the iffy world. Yeah.
Do you ever mix on headphones?
I use the other ones, the Audis, LSDX. These ones.
Right. Okay.
I use these ones for check the stuff. I don't like to mix in or master in headphones, but I like them for help, for a bit help.
Yeah.
Because when you are listening in the speakers, the physical sound of the speaker is really different. But sometimes for little details and textures, the headphones do a really good job.
Yeah, I usually I've done mixes on headphones, but that's because I didn't have the right room for speakers. But that was ages ago. But I do usually do one little check on headphones just to get the stereo balance between things. But that's usually quick, and when something's wrong, I fix it. But other than that, sometimes I do switch to headphones just to get another perspective on the things, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because it's really different. The sound is the headphone is more intimate. The space and the air is not there. Is like closer to your ear, so it's really different.
Depend of the kind of music too, but I'm using it a lot.
Yeah. All right, people.
Cool.
Anything else? Does anybody want to plug something? Anything they're working on or releasing? We already talked about your album. When was it out, Sergio? The one
next week, 15.
Nice one on Axis. So people should look out for that. Is it on Axis only, or do you have it on your own Bandcamp, or is it?
It's digital by now in the Axis website.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a new record coming this Friday in Sergio's label.
Exactly. In 30D, a Kastil EP in 2 days.
Yeah.
A very good one.
It's an EP? What?
An EP for tracks. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, we should. We'll have a look. Our eyes out for that too. And Julia, you are working on the Endorphin stuff promo thing. I saw you did the demo for the Queen of Pentacles.
Yes. Yeah. It was like part of when we release, we work with some bloggers, of course, but also to be sure what we want to showcase. Of course, you want to make your own content, and we have a studio in Barcelona, and we have a cyclorama, so we can shoot lots of videos. We have actually video production as well, so we are shooting music videos and content for Endorphin. So it's quite intense, also in terms of content production.
Great. Well, yeah, it looks good. It looks very busy, and it's got its very unique style. It's very nice. That's
thank you. Yeah, we try to be a little bit more unique. It's difficult because everything great is already made, right? But it's try to not to copy all the time.
Great, people. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, and good to see you all on this 909 day, on this happy 909.
It was very cool.
Yes, thank you for inviting me, actually, and it was really a big pleasure to form this part of this amazing artist, which I have to say this because I really like what you do, and it really sounds so good, so professional, and I can totally see how much you work on your product, and I admire it and respect it a lot. So it was a big pleasure for me to
awesome.
be
Thanks
with
a lot.
you. Yes.
You are the artist here.
Okay, well, thanks for the nice words, and well, again, great to see you. Great to chat to all of you, and bye bye, ciao ciao.
Bye.
Yes, bye.